we have an opportunity in feeling those deeper layers of suffering and pain to heal ourselves more deeply. I think it's a phrase, someone correct me if I've got this wrong, or if someone knows. I think it's a phrase from St. John of the Cross, who wrote about how in his seeking for God, he went through a lot of suffering, a lot of turmoil. It's essentially now become a phrase where if someone's on a spiritual journey of some kind, it describes a period of negativity that people can go through on this path towards any spiritual goal. And a lot of seekers go through this period of time where it's just very, very tough for a whole load of reasons. So that's what's commonly referred to as the dark night of the soul. It's like, it's daytime, yeah? You're walking around, it's daytime, you're happy, okay? Then a spiritual teaching or an insight or an experience comes along and hits you over the head and turns your life upside down. And now it's nighttime. You're confused. You're groping in the dark. You're so confused, you're going to online satsangs. That's how confused you are. That's what it's driven you towards, okay? I mean, this is extreme stuff. Yeah, it makes you attend like web conferences of your own volition. And then it's the dark night of the soul, because after every night comes daytime again. So eventually the dawn will come, the sun will rise, and the suffering will go. So the dark night of the soul is implicit in that phrase is that it's temporary. It will pass, and it will pass. Now we know it's not all good, because we know not very nice things happen. But this teaching says, yes, it's not all good, but it's all good. At the same time, it's all good. So if you ask the question, something along the lines of, are they on the right track? Well, everyone's on the right track. It's all good. But at the same time, fundamentally, everything's fine. But at the same time, we can make comments as to what would be more effective at a relative level, you could say. But I think, yes, as often as you solve one problem, a deeper problem that was always present but just was unseen emerges. A subtler problem emerges. And I gave the example again a few days ago of people who've been in road traffic accidents. Often I'll see people, so for those of you who don't know, I'm a medical doctor by trade. That's my day job. And you'll see someone who's been in a road traffic accident and they've had fairly serious, well, maybe they've hit their head or they've hurt their neck in a whiplash type injury, and it's really painful. And that's what they notice. They notice their headache, they notice their neck pain. And once they've sorted their headache out or neck pain out, once that's had time to recover after a few days, say, then they'll notice lots of other things that they also injured during the crash. So they might come and see me, 10 days later and say, I really hurt my left ankle. And it happened in the crash, in the car crash, in the car accident. But I didn't realize it at the time, because at the time I was consumed with my neck pain, which was much worse. And this is what it can be like. You think, oh, all I've got to do is solve my neck pain. All I've got to do is solve this one problem I have. Yeah, the only thing I've got to sort out is by getting a job. If I just get that perfect job, everything's going to be great. And then you get that job, and then you realize there's something else that needs to be sorted out. The other thing always needs to be sorted out, but you didn't really focus on it before, because the thing that consumed you was this bigger problem. So what happens is that as we uncover as we unpeel the layers of the onion, we can experience more suffering, more pain. And that doesn't feel good, obviously, because that's the definition of suffering and pain. But we have an opportunity in feeling those deeper layers of suffering and pain to heal ourselves more deeply. Only by allowing ourselves to experience the deeper traumas and pathologies that lie within our psyches do we allow those deeper traumas and psychological issues to become free, and for our body and minds to become purified. So it's not always a pleasant process, but it doesn't mean you're not on the right track. Often it means you are on the right track. Yes.
Yeah.
In the final liberation, it generally feels good. It feels better. If it doesn't, then there's not much point to the teaching, I would say. It feels exactly the same. If it feels terrible and you're still suffering, then there doesn't seem to be much point to this teaching. So finally, it's about the alleviation of suffering. The way I teach has advantages and disadvantages, and I think what I've found is that people who've often gone through an awakening experience often find what I share incredibly helpful. I mean, I hope a range of people find what I share helpful. But I've noticed that people who are already gone through something, maybe like perhaps what you've gone through, they find what I'm sharing particularly helpful, because they're not trying to see through the self. They've already seen through it potentially, or had a glimpse into that. And then it's about what now? I've seen all this stuff. I get it on many levels. This is what the seeker would be saying. The seeker would be saying something along the lines of, I've already seen this. I've already got this on many levels, but still it doesn't feel right. What's happening? A lot of it comes down to faith and surrender. And that faith isn't a blind faith. It's a faith that is an iterative process. And what I mean by that is that the more you let go, the more you realize it's okay. And the more you realize it's okay, the more you can let go. And the more you let go, the better it feels, because you're not struggling. And the better it feels, the more you want to do that. And so you're deriving a sense of wholeness and well-being from your nature, not from an object. Just from your existence, just from being. Being is wholeness. Whereas for most of us, being is not wholeness, because we're looking for something to make us whole. And we're looking to protect ourselves. A big thing to realize, that minds are searching for security. Emotional security, physical security. Because it feels insecure. And rather than deal with the insecurity, examine that, explore that, it looks for security. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than examine the root cause of the problem, it wants reassurance. And this perpetuates the me. One way of counteracting the dark night of the soul, the fear that can arise through seeing your sense of self slip away. I mean, that's scary for the mind. It's actually, there's nothing, it's actually completely fine. There's nothing to be scared of at all. But the mind's scared of it dying. The mind's scared of itself dying. It thinks it needs itself. And so when it sees itself dying, it gets into a panic. It's like, again, the analogy of the person walking along, looking at their feet, never seeing the sky, never seeing the beauty and the splendor and the wholeness and the completeness of the sky. And when they look up, instead of seeing the beauty and the splendor, they just get completely freaked out. And they prefer the safety of walking, looking at their feet, staring at the dirt track, and the pain and the struggle involved in their daily life, rather than embrace this already present wholeness and beauty. And there can be a transition as the mind learns to let go. Because there's no process, there's no progress in ultimate reality. It's just fully here. You can't progress in it. You can't get more of it or less of it. The progress is always in the mind. It's the mind that needs to let go and disappear. The mind meaning the sense of me. The thoughts will still happen and everything, but there's no one thinking, and that's seen quite clearly. And there's nothing to worry about. So if you are able to have faith in a higher power, provisionally, that can help you a lot. If you can trust, you can call it life. Maybe you can have faith in life, or you can have faith in the universe, or you can have faith in the Lord, a deity of your choice, or a spirit, whatever it is. If you can approach life with a sense of gratitude and humility and love and faith and trust. Again, we're not talking about blind faith. We're talking about trust and letting go. If we can approach life with this kind of attitude, it acts to counteract our anxieties and worries. And so I've often said that devotional practices are the secret weapon in Advaita and non-duality teachings. Devotional practices are the secret weapon. Otherwise, it's all in the head. And when it all stays in the head, the neurosis, the anxiety, the worry, the negativity, the suffering continues. There has to be a way for it to drop down into the heart. Meaning, the heart is just meaning letting go of the head, letting go of that mental insecurity. And this is one of the other benefits of meditation and devotional practices, is that they bring us out of the mind. And and most people are addicted to the mind. They're addicted to thinking. It's like being addicted to looking at your feet on the dirt track. You're never going to see the sky, even though it's there the whole time. The transmission occurs at these meetings. No one can give you the sky. Tom can't give you the sky. No one can give you the sky. The sky is already here. In this analogy, the sky is everything. It's everything, it's everywhere. It's all there is. No one can give that to you. It's already what you are. The teaching just says, wake up and chill out. Wake up, relax. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. In this gesture embodies gratitude and utter humility. Humility means the complete lack of pretense. The complete lack of pretense. Not pretending to know something you don't. Not pretending to be something that you're not. Just a humility and a gratitude. And that humility and that gratitude is the same as love. It's the same feeling. And it's the secret weapon of non-duality. As you go about your day, I encourage you just to gently allow yourself to feel thankful for everything that you experience. Everything we experience, everything we've ever had in our life has been given to us by the universe. Life has given you everything you've ever had. And life is constantly giving to us. And we can just feel thankful. And this will release negativity. It will release negativity. It might not all come at once, but this will release negativity. This doesn't mean you allow people to walk over you. If someone's acting in an unkind way to you, you can be thankful for that. And then as you protect yourself from that unkindness, you can be thankful for that too. When good things happen, we should definitely be thankful. It's so easy. And we should take that opportunity to be thankful for the good things. And when adversity comes our way, as it will, we can approach that with humility and gratitude too. If we can try and do that. I encourage you to do that. It will cleanse you of negativity. It will also enhance your ability to respond to the situation. Because you'll not be approaching that situation from a place of contraction, but from a place of greater seeing. And from that place of greater seeing and perspective, the body-mind functions optimally most of the time. So you get better outcomes as well. Gratitude transforms the negativity into positivity, makes you feel better. As the negativity disappears, then the positivity, you don't feel the need to practice gratitude anymore. You don't feel the need to worship so much. And you have less need for positivity. And then the positivity also starts to dissipate. And what you're left with is shanti. Shanti is the Sanskrit word for peace. So the general trend that occurs is from negativity to positivity to peace. So when you're going through a dark night of the soul, or you're just going through some negative things, have faith, have gratitude, give thanks, allow your heart to fill with love, and convert that negativity into positivity. And when the time is right, you won't feel drawn to do that so much anymore. And you let go of that too. And it might be that on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you don't really feel like doing anything. But then on Thursday, something negative comes along in your life. And then you feel like you want to practice some gratitude. You see, and then Friday, Saturday comes and you don't feel the need anymore. For most of us, if you've got significant suffering in your life on a daily basis, a gratitude practice, a devotional practice every morning, every evening is incredibly helpful. So I'd encourage you to have a gratitude practice, a devotional practice. And a great thing, if you come from, like, I don't know, a Christian culture, you can maybe, you know how people say grace at meal times? So we thank the Lord for food. That's a great opportunity to be thankful. Before every meal. Just to thank, you can use whatever words you want, can't you? I thank the universe, I thank God, whatever works for you. But you're generating positive gratitude, positive emotions. It's a very important part of the path if you want suffering to end. And it's a dualistic teaching, isn't it? Because it's for an apparent body mind. But that's okay. One of my favorite bits of advice was from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is like a comic science fiction book. And the front of this Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it's like a travel guide for intergalactic travelers, intergalactic tourists. It says, don't panic. Don't panic. It's very good advice. If any of you have traveled around, it's probably one of the best pieces of advice you can have. Don't panic. And when you calm down and you see what's happening, you can see what's happening in the environment. You can see what's happening in your body and your mind and your psychology. You're able to respond with that perspective. And you get into the habit of not panicking. And it feels better. And it works better. In the post-awakening phase, when you've already seen through the separation, but now you're like, what's going on? I'm confused. Maybe you thought you had your life together. Maybe you thought you knew what your life was about. And then suddenly, something cracks open. And you see something. And you realize, gosh, life's not how I thought it would be. This is quite scary now. It's like when if you're walking along that dirt track, looking at your feet, you've never seen the sky. And you suddenly see the sky. It could be petrifying. It could just shake you up. You're quite happy maybe walking along your dirt track. You knew where you were going. You knew how to avoid the holes. Okay, you tripped up sometimes, but that's not too bad. You dusted yourself off. You carried on plodding. Now there's this big fucking sky there. What the fuck's that all about? It can be disorientating as well as wonderful, depending on how you receive it. As you go about your day, I encourage you just to gently allow yourself to feel thankful for everything that you experience. Everything we experience, everything we've ever had in our life has been given to us by the universe. her life has given you everything you've ever had. And life is constantly giving to us. And we can just feel thankful.